best to
save it.
That bus running up.
Jesus. Oh my goodness. Jeez, what? Damn it, the bus is leaving. What? I thought the bus was leaving. Finally found one. Oh.
Where's Graham?
Things inside the cabin. There's trees and things whizzing past us.
Whizzing.
Yeah, 20 kilometres an hour maximum speed. So it's not really whizzing.
Whizzing is
stretching. No worries, enjoy your tour.
Thank you.
And your lunch, it's a great place for lunch sitting up here.
Thank you.
No worries.
On the coast. Just one moment, folks. Excuse me. Can you always keep on the left-hand side of the road, please? Thank you. And what happened was the skipper kept coming. He thought that he had plenty of water in front of him. His helmet just on the other side of it. That would be the best viewing position for watching whales during September, October, November. So if you come back during those months, I'm going to try and get that spot, sit there for a couple of hours, you'll see literally dozens of whales going past. And on the left here, this is called Catherine Bay. It's one of our favourite bays to come to as well. When my beautiful wife turned 60 on the 11th of April, we came over to Rottnest. That was a Thursday. We had my daughter, her husband, and my two beautiful little granddaughters on board. We had 2 nights there. And Catherine Bay is always very good for catching crays. Well, we set the pots the first night. Guess what? The next morning we had none. Using our service today. You've been a beautiful crowd, very responsive, and I do appreciate that. Thank you very much, folks, and I do wish you well for the rest of the afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. At this time of the day, also they accumulate underneath these big Moreton Bay figs. You might see a few drunk quokkas around the place, folks, if they stay here too long. Folks, if you do want something to eat, if you go straight ahead and turn left, that will take you into the main settlement area. We're just going to go very softly here. If people can keep an eye out on the left, that would be appreciated. This lady, can you encourage that one to move? Can you encourage that one to move? Thank you. Righto. Oh, very good job, young lady.
Oh,
Right.
no,
See,
no.
that's what they do. Let me know if it goes anywhere near the wood. Very, very strategic during the Second World War. It's where the women of the Royal Australian Navy were accommodated. Would you believe? There were 500
Thank you very much. Well done.
We'll see you this afternoon. On your left-hand side, there's a waterfront cafe called Dome. Dome is a West Australian coffee chain with more than 100 outlets. Many of them like this have nice views. There is even a dome on Rottnest Island. Next building coming up on your left on the waterfront there with a red roof, built in 1896. That was originally the grand family home of Tom Carroll. He had his shipbuilding yard here on the banks of the Swan River in East Fremantle. Business must have been good because that was a pretty nice house. By the 1980s, that heritage listed building had fallen into disrepair. The lease was taken up by the Clough family, who I mentioned earlier, and after extensive renovations and restorations, there it is on your left hand side, I joined the original team as an apprentice chef when it opened as the Left Bank Bar and Cafe in 1990. Now 34 years later, it's still called the Left Bank, and it makes me feel old telling you that. Hey, here we go. How to make me feel young. We used to jump off this bridge on our afternoon break. It seemed like a good idea. And we weren't doing it for videos on social media. Oh dear. Now there's a face under the bridge there on your left. That's Bon Scott from AC/DC. He's not back in black, he's back in fluoro. So we're between the two bridges, the two road bridges. There are three bridges, two road and one railway. The first one we just passed under is the Stirling Highway Traffic Bridge. Stirling Highway connects Perth and Fremantle by road, and its name honours our first governor, Captain James Stirling. Now coming up on your left-hand side just here is the East Street Jetty. If you had caught a ferry to Rottnest up until the 1990s, Rottnest ferries left from that little jetty there on your left-hand side. Famous ferries with names such as the Islander, the Zephyr, the Temeraire, and many others. This was the Rottnest Ferry Wharf. Now we have Beachhead Fremantle, where we're stopping this morning, and Rottnest Express also have Northport Passenger Terminal in the industrial area on the north side of the harbour. Can you see the multicoloured art installation on your left there? Those 9 shipping containers weigh 66 tonnes and symbolise a couple of things about Fremantle. Now we're about to pass under the old Fremantle traffic bridge. This one is built out of timber. The timber is jarrah, and I call jarrah the wood that built Western Australia, because long before this state got rich through minerals such as gold and later iron ore, timber was the first export of Western Australia. Blocks of jarrah were used to line the streets of London, Berlin and other cities. Jarrah was prized around the world for its hardness. Used on jetties, wharves and bridges, it's hard enough to resist woodworms. And here in Western Australia, so many of our old buildings have jarrah in the floors, the stumps, the walls, the roofs, everywhere. It is literally the wood that built Western Australia. We used to have vast forests of this hard, slow-growing eucalypt right across the southwest corner of WA. Final bridge we passed under was a railway bridge, and we are now in Fremantle Harbour. It was officially opened in 1897. It's now dredged to a depth of nearly 15 metres, allowing Fremantle Harbour to take in some of the largest ships plying the world's oceans. If you're visiting Perth, I recommend a day trip to Fremantle. If you're staying in the city centre, I recommend catching the train. A commuter train will cost you $5, take you half an hour. It includes free ocean views. But you can travel to Fremantle without any driving or parking hassles. Enjoy your day exploring Fremantle. The Fremantle Jail, Fremantle Prison is UNESCO World Heritage listed. You can do tours of that. Explore the Cappuccino Strip or the old Fremantle markets. If you're like me, you might find yourself at one of the 2 breweries that Fremantle's famous for. Little Creatures Brewery overlooks the fishing boat harbour, and overlooking the harbour here as we resume our journey this morning, you'll see gauge roads. But you can have a brew or two and not have to worry about driving if you caught the train. Now on your left-hand side on the wharf there's a whole bunch of buses and other vehicles. They've arrived on a big roll-on roll-off car ferry, like floating car parks. So they are recently imported vehicles. That's why they're sitting there on the wharf ready to head through to their final destination. The container, oh, there's dolphins on your right hand side there. Big dolphins, guys. They're just heading behind us now. There's Sebastian's there. Oh, there they are. So there they are, just behind the boat, in the wake of the boat. Building on your left-hand side is the Port of Fremantle Passenger Terminal. I can see that because it's written on the side of the building. It's handy if I ever forget. Now that was opened early in 1962 because later in 1962 Perth hosted the Commonwealth Games. What a coming of age that would have been for our city. But over the decade or so that followed, that passenger terminal there on your left welcomed many thousands of immigrants, people who arrived for their new life in Australia. That building there was their welcome to Fremantle, welcome to your new life. There on your right hand side, look at the cranes. When they're in use, they are put horizontally. As you can see, the ones back further. Look at these ones on your right hand side now. They stick them vertically and they soar to 100 metres in the air. But it doesn't take a lot of imagination to see why they have the nickname the Fremantle Giraffes. Now we can see the Fremantle Giraffes from Rottnest. Now the easiest way to do that is from the island, look back at the mainland. See first if you can spot the buildings of the Perth CBD. When you've done that, because Perth's due east of Rottnest, cast your eyes to the right along the coastline, keep looking until you see these, and these will be showing you where Fremantle is. We've actually zigged and we've zagged this morning, meandered, but we've travelled southwest. From here, to get to Rottnest, your skipper will be taking us northwest across the ocean. There's a tugboat there on your right hand side. Fremantle's a very busy port. Something else that happened in 1962, Perth got the nickname the City of Light. American astronaut John Glenn was orbiting the planet, the globe, orbiting Earth in a satellite. And having travelled over thousands of kilometres of dark ocean, Perth people knew he was coming, and they went outside, turned on all the lights, waved torches upwards, and enough people did it that he looked down, he saw Perth. He could make out the light. He gave Perth the nickname the City of Light. We liked it, so we kept it. And that, if you hear Perth being called the City of Light, that's where that came from. Now on our left-hand side are 5 historic sheds, A, B, C, D, and E shed. E shed has markets in it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if you visit Fremantle. But B shed is going to be our Fremantle stop. So we've meandered this morning. What a beautiful morning for a river cruise. The sun's been shining, but as B shed is nearly here in front of it, that brings an end to my commentary. I do hope that you've enjoyed what I've had to say this morning. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Kindly ask everybody, please remain seated, or please return to your seats, and please be seated, just as the captain brings the boat alongside the jetty, just in case of any bumps. Thank you. Now, as we're alongside the jetty here at Fremantle, we'll ask you to please remain on board. Once we resume our journey at 10 o'clock, we'll reopen our snack bar if you'd like to grab something to eat or drink. We'll reopen it then. For now though, the crew will be onshore, assisting passengers and luggage, bicycles, ready to depart at 10 o'clock. From then, take us half an hour across the ocean to Rottnest. Now, as we resume our journey, have a look for the architecturally interesting West Australian Maritime Museum. It'll be there on our left as we go to leave the harbour this morning. Designed by the architect to look like an upturned boat. In the Maritime Museum, you'll find the restored hull of the Australia 2 racing yacht that I mentioned earlier, and a whole bunch more interesting West Australian maritime history.